Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're kicking off a quest, a journey to understand the hidden science behind every single thing you buy. We're going to pull back the curtain on your brain's economic decision-making process.
So let's start with a really simple question that, well, actually has a surprisingly complex answer. Why that particular brand of coffee? Why that specific phone? That one simple choice is the launchpad for our entire journey today into consumer behavior. So here's our roadmap for this quest. First up, what makes you buy anything in the first place? Then we'll look at something called the satisfaction meter. After that, we'll explore the joy of getting a really good deal. And to wrap it all up, we are going to map out your perfect choice.
All right, let's begin. Imagine a student just kind of staring at a vending machine. What is going on in their head? Well, it all starts with the most fundamental concept of all, human wants.
You see, in economics, a want isn't just some vague feeling. It's the specific, driving force to get satisfaction from something. It's that pull you feel towards one item over another. That right there, that's the engine that powers all consumption. And here's what's so fascinating about our wants. First off, they are absolutely unlimited. The second you get one thing, you immediately want something else. They're also competitive. You've only got so much money, right? So your wants are constantly fighting it out for your limited resources. And of course, they're always changing.
Okay, so if wants are the engine, how do we measure the fuel? Well, economists came up with this really cool tool called utility. You can just think of it as a satisfaction score. Utility is quite simply the want-satisfying power of any given thing.
So let's move on and see how this satisfaction meter actually works in the real world. Because believe it or not, it follows a crucial economic law that you experience every single day, whether you realize it or not. It's called the law of diminishing marginal utility. Now I know, that sounds a little academic, but trust me, the idea is super simple. The more you have of something, the less you enjoy each extra one. And that little bit of extra satisfaction, that's what we call marginal utility.
Let's watch this play out with, say, cups of tea. That first cup of the day, it's amazing. Let's say it gives you 30 units of satisfaction. Now, the second cup, it's still good, but the extra satisfaction, the marginal utility, was only 20 this time. By the fourth cup, that extra kick has dropped all the way down to 10.
Now, what happens if you just keep on drinking the fifth cup, the sixth? Eventually, you're going to hit a wall, a point where one more cup gives you absolutely zero extra satisfaction. You're done. The satisfaction meter for that next one hits zero.
And this shows the relationship perfectly. As long as that extra kick, the marginal utility, is positive, your total satisfaction keeps climbing. But the second you hit zero marginal utility, you've peaked. Your total utility is at its max. Now, what if you force down one more cup? Your total satisfaction actually starts to drop. The marginal utility has become negative. You've had too much.
So this is a really crucial point, because understanding this falling satisfaction meter helps us find the hidden value in our purchases. And this leads us to one of the most satisfying ideas in all of economics. I like to call it the bonus prize you get without even trying.
A brilliant economist, Alfred Marshall, gave this a name: consumer surplus. It's that wonderful feeling of getting a great deal, but, quantified. It's the gap between what something is truly worth to you and the price you actually see on the tag.
So how do we figure it out? It's really simple. You take what you're willing to pay, which, remember, is based on the satisfaction you expect to get, and you subtract what you actually pay, which is just the market price. The bigger that gap, the bigger your bonus.
Let's see this bonus prize in action. Let's say you're buying some oranges. That very first orange, you're really thirsty, so it's worth 30 to you. But the price is only 20. Boom! You just got a consumer surplus of 10. The second one gives you a surplus of 8, the third one a surplus of 6, and so on.
You keep buying as long as the value to you is more than the price. Now look, by the sixth orange, the utility exactly matches the price. Your surplus on that specific orange is 0. That's your stopping point. So if you add up all those little bonuses you got from each purchase, your total consumer surplus for this trip is 30.
All right, this is it, the final step of our quest. We figured out wants, utility, and surplus. Now let's put it all together on a map to find the one, single, mathematically perfect choice.
First, we have to map what we want. And for this, economists have a very cool tool called an indifference curve. Just think of it as a happy line.
Any point on this curve is a combination of two things, say pizza and soda, that gives you the exact same level of happiness. You're literally indifferent between them.
Okay, so that's the dream. Now for the reality check, what can you actually afford? This is your budget line. It's a straight line that shows every possible combination of pizza and soda you can buy with the money you have. Anything on or below that line is possible, anything above it is not.
But of course, you don't just have one happy line. You've got a whole map of them, a whole landscape of happiness, really. And the rule is simple. The farther out a curve is, the happier it makes you. So your goal, as a consumer, is to get to the highest, most blissful curve you possibly can. So where's the sweet spot? Where's the perfect choice? It's right there. That one magic point where your budget line just gently touches the highest possible happy line you can reach. It's the perfect blend of what you want and what you can afford.
And that magic point has a name. It's called consumer equilibrium. It's economic perfection. It means you have squeezed every last drop of satisfaction out of your budget. At that exact point, what you're willing to trade off personally matches what the market is offering. And with that, our consumer's quest is complete.
Whew. Okay, let's recap this whole quest. We started with our unlimited wants. We learned to measure their power with utility. And then we saw how that power fades with each extra unit. We discovered that hidden treasure called consumer surplus. And finally, we used a map to find our equilibrium point, the single best choice we could make.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. The next time you're out shopping, deciding between two things, you're not just choosing. You are, in a way, solving for equilibrium. Now that you know the science behind it, will you think differently about your next purchase?